All right. Now I'm gonna define a simple list. Let's say my list equal to, it's always a square bracket. It's 1 comma 2 comma 3, and I define my tuple, and I say 1 comma 2 comma 3. So now my list and my tuple are very identical in nature, right? Except the notation you said, it has a square bracket. Now, if I like to go and make some modification, assume I can say my underscore list dot append dot 4, which means it will add the item to the end. That is what it's trying to do. Now, if I print what is the value of my list, it will say is 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if I check what and all method available in tuple, you will not find any option here. You cannot update or append. If you choose to append something, that will scream left, right, center. I don't have any such method. So basically, tuple will not allow you to make some addition or modification to the existing what is it called, the variable what you have defined. But list on the other hand, it allows you to make modification. You can delete, append, or create. You can do whatever so operation you like to do with the list.
Okay.
Or in the other word, to be very technical, tuple is immutable in nature and list is mutable. I introduce a two jargon to you. This is a very classical jargon which mutable is immutable. Mutable means you will able to modify it. Immutable means you cannot modify the value. Nothing more, nothing less. Got it? You see?
Got it. Yeah.
Object whose value cannot be said to be changed, that's a mutable. Whose cannot be changed, that's something and immutable. Now you got the first idea, like what is the key idea between a list and tuple, right? Okay, now where do you really use in real world? That is the question. It's all the things about, you will be, if you go and type in internet about list and tuple, whatever definition I said, it will be available. If you take any example or any difference, let's say, let's go to simple the geeks of geeks, you will see list is mutable, tuple is immutable, and you will see this idea very simple, everywhere it's available. But where you will be using is what will make you different from the people. That is very, very important. Where we really require to have a mutable, where we like whenever there is a requirement for me to change something, I will use mutable. For example, if I have a ticket reservation system, then at that time I have to keep changing my list of people added to the bus or train, correct? That time the list is very, very handy. But on the other hand, there are like certain cases where the tuple should not be modified. Example, the PAN card, a PAN card or the SSN. If I create some SSN, does SSN should allow me to change any value present in between them? For example, if your SSN number is 123 hyphen S, should the hyphen S to be allowed to be modified? You should not allow to modify it, right? Because it should be created one time and there should not be no modification. Now, did you understand where you should really make some modification, where there are few cases where the modification is strictly avoided?
Yeah. Got it.
And as compiler knows that the tuples are immutable, iterating over the element would be much faster because compiler will not have to really make any, the compiler or the computer will not have to make any sort of check on the data structure. Think of this example. Assume that you have a small car with you. I mean, in Indian context, let's assume that initially your two of your friends are coming. Suddenly, one of your friend called one more friend, and number of passenger got increased to 3. You will be if you want to start counting the number of people in your car, when the time you started journey would be like 2. After some time, the number could keep change to 3. Now, as you are the driver of the car, you should be very cautious that whenever there is a change, you have to remember that there is a change being made, correct? Or you should keep a watch that
Yes.
if somebody has came into the car or not. But on the other hand, the tuple which makes the things very constant. There will no change. So which means whenever you have to count something, your value is not gonna keep changing, right? So which is
Mm-hmm.
very comfortable for your computer, knowing that there will not be any change in the value, which makes it even more faster. Iterating, if you have to iterate the element, iterating means just even for displaying or doing any transformation, iterating
Mm-hmm.
things on the tuple will be much faster compared to the list. Got it?
Okay, got it.
That is what, yes, they say implication of iteration is time consuming. Here it's faster. List is better
Mm-hmm.
for operations such as insertion and deletion. Here you don't have anything. It's only for accessing. You
Mm-hmm.
can only do a read only. You cannot do update or delete.
Mm-hmm.
List consume more memory. Here is memory efficient because it's a one time job. They have a lot of method. If you check the list of method under the list, you will be surprised to see what they are claiming really. You
Mm-hmm.
see, just by a small
Yeah.
click, I'm able to see these many methods. Here,
Mm-hmm.
unexpected changes or error like to occur. You might expect some random changes. Here, it's hard to take
Mm-hmm.
place. They can't. This point number 6 does not make any sense. You can discard, but
Mm-hmm.
you got the idea, right? What is the real idea
Yes,
between a list and a tuple?
yes.
Any questions?
No, this is good. So whenever we are passing the list, no, like numbers, we were giving that double quote. Suppose in the output, I'm seeing single quotes. That means it will alter. Did you get my
Very good.
question?
It's a very good
Yeah.
observation. I get your point.
Mhm.
So what you are
Yeah.
trying to say here is that, let me define the list again. If I do with double quotes and if I just print the value of it, you are trying to say it's trying to transform the double quotes to single quotes, correct?
Yes.
So it
Yes.
is
Yes.
a notion of the developer who implements a particular editor. Here, the
Mhm.
editor, what they are trying to do here is that they are trying to standardize to single quote. But if you use
Mhm.
some other application, they might use double quote. It is a matter of preference done by the editor or the IDE thing. It's not nothing to do or any transformation. They try to make the standard.
Okay.
Even if you try to say with a single quote,
Mhm.
there could be counter question. Will whether single quotes will be double quote will be converted to double quotes? No, it will still be a single quote.
Single.
They try to make a
Okay.
standard. You can example you can think of the lowercase uppercase scenario.
Mhm.
Got it?
Yes. Yes. Got it.
Okay. Your next
Yeah.
questions.
We have this set frozen set bytes. Do we use those things also?
What is it? Frozen byte. What is
Oh,
it you're referring
frozen
to?
set. Yeah, bytes set in. 1 second. In variables,
You
I
mean the
think we have.
data types in Python you're referring to?
Yeah, data types. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Data types.
Okay. So very good observation. That's a very good point you have noticed, like about what is meant by frozen and byte. Byte you have to
Yeah.
people will be using very often
Okay.
because where you will be using the byte is that computer will understand everything in byte world.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm referring, I'm trying to get some example of byte. For example, if you have the word called Sushmita, that word you can actually try to formulate into a proper byte. Let
Okay.
me check whether they have, or else I'll show you from
Cherpava.
full what file I can think. Mm, all right. Okay, this is the tar.z is that file. Okay, I'm just trying to do something called more apm server dot. Do you see something? You see number thing here over here, right? So this is nothing but your bytes. This is what the byte actually looks like. I'll show you
Mm-hmm.
how it looks for a PDF file so that you understand things even more better. Let me take session. So I'm just trying to open with a simple editor. Usually the PDF file should be open using PDF viewer, right? If I try
Yeah.
opening with a traditional text editor, this is what will happen. You'll try to read everything as a byte thing. You see PDF dot 1.7. So
Mm-hmm.
basically everything is encoded inside a byte format. You see, it's all the byte
Mm-hmm.
internally. So if you have a proper
Okay.
reader, let's say PDF reader is nothing but it is trying to read the sequence written in the byte world to a proper format. Likewise, it's
Okay.
applicable for a doc, docx, whatever the editor you choose, that's trying to transform the data from one format to a different format. So
Mm-hmm.
even to put in a very simple term, when you have to use byte, if you have to start thinking, if you have to transfer something over a network,
Mm-hmm.
assume that you might have went to some casinos, right? Where you might have
Right.
playing some games over casinos or a video game. If they have to transfer your number scorecard to a different machine, then they don't transfer over the text, because anybody, if they can hack the text, they will be able to understand what is your score, right? Or likewise,
Mm-hmm.
if you are transferring your amount from person A to person B, if there's a man in the
Mm-hmm.
middle attack, if they're able to understand your sequence, what you transfer, it is going to be a threat. Instead, they'll try to transfer the data over the byte, and which is easily understood by the two computers across the machine. So that is the reason also people tend to use a bytes accordingly. Got it?
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
And regarding the frozen set is a derivative of a set altogether. Set, in your
Mm-hmm.
high school, you might have read about the unions and set, right? You might have heard about
Yeah.
the unions and other property. It is very similar to your tuple, but your set will not contain any duplicate entry. That is a property it will have to satisfy. If you take the
Mm-hmm.
example of a tuple, your tuple can have a duplicate entries, which means if I have like 1, 2, 3 and comma 1, 2, 3, your tuple will agree. But on the other hand, if you define a set, it will not have any duplicate, will not allow you to have any duplicates within it. I'll show you an example what I'm referring to. I have to define set 1, comma 2, comma 3. Uh, what is a syntax? Okay, this is there. If I have something 1 comma 2 comma 3, see, I had like 2 times the value 1, but in the output is you are just seeing only 1 1. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Basically, it
Yeah.
is trying to confer the property that will not have any duplicates in it.
Okay.
Now coming back
Now.
to your question, what is meant by
Mm-hmm.
frozen set? If you read about a frozen set, they used a
Mm-hmm.
word written the immutable for the initial element from a given iteratable. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, they say it's a immutable structure. Usually in the traditional set, they allow to you to modify some value. But if you don't want to have a set where there should not be any addition, then they are
Mm-hmm.
using the word called frozen set, which is kind of very similar to the tuple behavior. Got
Mm-hmm.
it?
Okay. Okay. In set, you said like it won't allow any duplicates, right? So in frozen
Yes.
set also, like, do we it allows duplicates or no?
It will not allow. Frozen set will
Okay.
not allow you to make any modification. Here
Okay.
in the set, it allows you to do some sort of transformation. For example, let me define this
Mm-hmm.
to a variable. Let's say a equal to. If I type a, I get now I have like 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. If I say a
Mm-hmm.
of 5, and then like let's say I have to use this bracket, I believe. Set is not subscriptionable. There's some method I forgot the access. So they are iterating it, I believe. Focus again. Set. This is a command I was trying. Okay, you have to define the set class ahead of time. I think that is what I
Mm-hmm.
overlooked, I believe. Okay, no
Yeah.
worries. Now we will try to access the element over here. How do I access it? The add method is there. Let's try the add. directly. A dot add, maybe say 10. Now it allows me to make some change. If I make a
Mm-hmm.
frozen set,
Mm-hmm.
the command is, I guess frozen set, frozen. Here in the frozen set, it will not allow you to make some modifications on top of it. Yeah, they got it.
Mm-hmm.
If I make frozen set of A, let's say I assign to B. Okay, this is a frozen set. If I click on B dot add of 15, it will say I cannot make some modification because you have frozen the value. I hope you understood about the frozen set, correct? Any questions?
Okay, so we'll use the slash in for new line, right? And carriage return slash R. So what's the difference between both? When I checked, no, I got the same output.
Okay, very good question. So in the Windows environment, a new line is represented using slash and slash r.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
Windows with Linux new line. So in Windows, do you see this is slash r slash n indicates a new line.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
in Linux environment, slash n is the new line.
Okay.
In Mac, the older version it's with slash r. The recent version they also
Okay.
accommodated to slash n.
Okay.
So
That means
sometime
anything. Yeah.
sometime what happens is that whenever you write some application in Linux or the other way,
Mm-hmm.
Linux, and if you try to open in Windows, it will be a cluttered one because all the editors, most of the default editors in Windows, let's say Notepad, traditional Notepad, will not recognize
Mm-hmm.
saying that, okay, I see something different. It will all put everything in the same line because internally
Mm-hmm.
the split method will try to separate into a new line, right? Now that logic
Yeah.
will not work. Now because of that you will have some problem. Recently most of the editor they
Mm-hmm.
fixed this, but still there are like
Mm-hmm.
few applications which will have the problem. If you want to convert
Okay.
or handle that, people use something called DOS to Unix or Unix
Mm-hmm.
to DOS. The main
Mm-hmm.
work of the DOS to Linux is that it'll try to do a ulta part. If you have something on
Mm-hmm.
Windows, if you want to connect to Linux equivalent, DOS to Unix will come and will come to the picture. Or if you want to convert a Unix to DOS, that will also come to the picture. The people who develop the
Mm-hmm.
cross application, they usually use this thing to make their life easier. Got it?
Yeah. Got it. Okay. And
You
what
will
is
understand.
slash f? Yeah, yeah, understood that one. That means like we can use either slash in or slash r, both, if it's supporting.
I will I will recommend use
Mm.
slash n unless until if
Mm-hmm.
you're very sure about you will be working only on Windows environment, use a slash
Mm-hmm.
r and slash n. Okay.
Okay, got it. Yeah. And slash f, form field,
Slash is the
something.
white space.
Oh, okay. Oh, slash f,
If
f is for white space. F.
yes, S is for space actually.
Mm-hmm.
Non-printable. I said about non-printable character, right? I'll show
Mm-hmm.
you non-printable character. You will be able to understand things even more better.
Mm-hmm.
Where is that one? They represent is a hex code over here, but the idea is yes, if you have a slash s, which means it's a space altogether.
Slash f. I'm asking about f as in
Yeah, yes.
fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a symbol,
Okay.
right?
No, no, F. F as in fan. Um,
Oh,
F.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is also print carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Print carriage, how do I explain it? Let me take some example.
Okay.
So the character code is here is the not, this is not a one. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Where is slash? S is for space and slash T. You know about slash T, right? That is for tab that you might have
Yeah.
known.
Yeah.
And page break is no need to take care. Even I forgot what is slash chef. It's
Mm-hmm.
not character end of cell soft
Yeah.
hyphen.
I mean, if it's not needed, that's fine because there were a lot of things now.
Yeah, right. Let us me check the last one slash F.
Mm-hmm.
Should be white space carriage written. I don't think. No, for sure that slash R and slash N should be
Mm-hmm.
either a line break or a null character. Let's check what is in.
Mm-hmm.
I'll check and let you
Also,
know.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, when we are defining this data type and assigning to a variable, like
hmm
generally we'll start list to double braces. No, is it required? Like what I'm referring is, do we have any chart window here?
Come
Yeah.
again.
I will type here.
Sure. If you, I'm pasting it over here. If I check what is the type
Mm-hmm.
of X,
Mm-hmm.
it will say it's a type of a list. Now I'll
Mm-hmm.
have one more version of it.
Mm-hmm.
My tuple equal to the same symbol the way you wrote apple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I check type of my tuple,
Yes. No.
it's a tuple. Oh, it's a string. It's
Mm-hmm.
trying to think as a string. Now, if I say
Mm-hmm.
um, x equal to list, open the bracket, and I type my tuple.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it holds good. If I check what is a value of check the see, mm, no, my tuple. It is trying to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
Very weird thing. Okay, if you okay, I think I got the context there. It's trying to convert to the given value into a list separately. Usually, the
Mm-hmm.
notation what we saw with the bracket, right? This is how the usual
Mm-hmm.
notation look like.
Mm-hmm.
If you check the type of X, it still holds to be value of list. But when you try to use
Mm-hmm.
a type of this list, and if you have set
Mm-hmm.
of value, let's say I type Hari,
Mm-hmm.
then it'll try to chunk HARI into a individual list. You see,
Mm-hmm.
HARI.
Yeah.
If you want to make sure
Yeah.
that you have to inform compiler, no, don't do that. I just want referring to a single
Mm-hmm.
entity. Then we have to say it's a type of array. The example you shared is how you got
Mm-hmm.
to represent it. Only then that will not get confused, and it'll be. It's still converting it. I don't think that is a case. It's still trying to convert it. Let me check the op. This is the first time I'm
One.
seeing this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, while I'm going through this W3 schools, it gave like X is equal to list what I gave and then print X. I got confused like list when we are giving, do we have to give the double braces?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check the official doc.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime you may have to revisit the official doc. Even though I
Yeah.
never tried the list, usually I follow the bracket convention. Oh, you see,
Mm-hmm.
list constructor
Mm-hmm.
returns a mutable sequence list of element. Iteratable argument is optional. You can provide any sequence or collection such as a string or it. If not, a empty string is returned. Basically, you see print of list, it is a empty value.
Mm-hmm.
Where the printing is a
Mm-hmm.
empty. List of within the
Mm-hmm.
bracket is also an empty. But if you say list
Mm-hmm.
of b month and, it's trying to convert it. If you try to have in this fashion, it's also okay. But if you have example of a b, you see how are they converting into
Mm-hmm.
B double E? So whatever
Mm-hmm.
value you give within the bracket, it tries to convert it accordingly. So even if you give within the this fashion, it'll try to still chunk the data accordingly. So the by logic, it's trying to make into a iteratable sequence, as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Okay. 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 Got it. Yeah. I mean, my question is like, do we have to give double braces when we are passing that list? I have
Even if you
given
give
here now.
double braces or single
Mm-hmm.
braces, it's not will not make any
Mm-hmm.
much difference. If you're gonna
Okay.
define any list, I recommend use a square bracket. Don't go by this
Mm-hmm.
notation. This notation is slightly advanced and the usage is actually might vary situation to situation. I'll don't use this
Um,
part for time being.
mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Any other question?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, so were you able to implement that editor, like text editor, what we discussed yesterday?
Actually, I'm not sure like what to do on that, so I just tried some if else conditions.
Mhm.
Yeah. Can you
Can
give me like
you
some examples to try?
yesterday we discussed in the classroom, right? At least remember the example I shared with you yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. That only I tried. I mean, I tried like giving an input, A, enter number A, and then B, and then pass some condition to print the output.
Likewise, yesterday we discussed
Um,
about the entering and searching. Likewise, you can try see how to replace a word. For example, if
mm-hmm,
I have
mm-hmm.
a string like I like India, I like France. Now the
Yeah,
input
yeah,
string
yeah,
to replace would be of France, and the value to be changed could be like United States. You get the idea, right?
yeah,
Likewise,
yeah,
you
yeah.
may
Got
have to
it.
implement
Mm-hmm,
small implementation stub, whatever you see in your standard text editor.
mm-hmm,
You can think about your simple notepad. Don't open notepad plus plus. You will see a lot of different
mm-hmm,
implementation. You can open like
mm-hmm.
a simple editor like a notepad and try seeing how to replicate small functionalities present over here in your code base so
Okay.
that you will feel more comfortable with the string manipulation.
Okay, that means like there are some methods, no? So do I have to check those methods like capitalize, replace,
Yes,
whatever?
yes.
Okay,
Replace is
okay, I
already there.
understood
You
now.
just dot replace is already there. That is why I said like what
Mm-hmm.
and all methods we discuss in
Okay,
the what is it called string
yeah.
container, you can put into use and
Uh-huh.
implement your own editor of your choice.
Okay, got it. Okay, so actually, I wanted to listen once yesterday's recording, but I didn't get that. What I'm asking. So I was not I didn't remember much of the things, so that's why I tried some examples from the internet. Still,
Hmm.
I didn't get the yesterday's recording, so maybe today I will try those things and I'll update tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Okay, usually in the high school lab or the college thing, they
Mm-hmm.
will the whatever exercise I gave you, right? They will ask you to couple
Mm-hmm.
with the UI counterpart as well. In Python, there is
Uh-huh.
something called Tinker library.
Uh-huh.
The Tinker
Okay.
library in Python is a graphical user interface. A Tinker is
Okay.
a like you can define your own graphics inside a thing. Likewise, you will be
Mm-hmm.
able to define your own implement. Like you have all your backend implementation, you can define your
Mm-hmm.
own editor inside it. That is how they usually give the exercise in the college time,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Mm-hmm.
you also get to understand how a graphical user interface and your business logic
Mm-hmm.
will work together. All the shortcut
Mm-hmm.
keyboard and whatever we saw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything will come
Mm-hmm.
into the picture. I hope you got
Okay.
the idea, right?
Yeah.
They even try to
Can
connect back
you?
with the, yeah. Have you heard
Mm-hmm.
about the Vim editor or VA editor before, Sushmita?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One good part with the VA or the Vim editor is that even if your file is 10 GB, or
Mm-hmm.
assume that you have a 10 GB text file, if you try to open the 10 GB text file in a Notepad++, your Notepad++ will crash for sure. You can try
Mm-hmm.
attempting it in your laptop or your desktop. But
Mm-hmm.
the same file, if you try to open it up using a Vim or VI, it will work like a
Mm-hmm.
charm, because at
Okay.
max it will only load before 10 page, after 10 page. So the overall memory
Mm-hmm.
requirement will be less than 1 MB or 2 MB. That is a real success of using a Vim editor. So this
Mm-hmm.
they achieved through the concept of pagination, before 10 page, after 10 page. So these kind of
Mm-hmm.
implementation, which is what people would expect in the primary institute. This is how the assignment grade will actually happen. In a small college, you'll
Mm-hmm.
expect you to just learn the method. In a next level college, they ask you to implement a small function. The other college, like the primary institute, they ask you to implement the editor, which is super scalable.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You
Mm-hmm.
got the idea, right? How people tend to
Yeah.
put things. It's all simple string
Mm-hmm.
implementation. There's nothing fancy, but what is the thought process and how they think is what makes them very different or very niche in the overall market.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
All right. Any other question?
No, no, I'm good now.
Okay. Today we will learn about the looping construct. I say we thought to learn about it. Maybe we'll learn about the maybe not even looping construct, which is conditions. Maybe we'll learn about the conditions. So in Python, you have different condition statement. So you can
Mm-hmm.
have something called if else,
Mm-hmm.
and if elif, or I would say nested else. So these are like four different ways in which the condition can be done. For example, if age equal to 18, if I can check age equal to 18. This is what people do something called equality check. And age is
Yeah.
18. This is one sort of a check. I can also do a check if age greater than 18. Then I say print eligible for voting. Else print not not eligible. I can also have this sort of implementation, correct? So sometime I may have to do a primary check. Sometime I have to do a if else block. Sometime I
Mm-hmm.
can have multiple use case. The use case like if age greater than 50 and age less than 25, something of sort. I say, or let's say senior citizen, and I can say LF age less than 50 and age greater than 18 and adult. Else print minor. So now do you understand how condition checks are being implemented in Python? It's the same use case. You
Yeah.
just do a direct check. You do a binary check like this. If not this, you go here. In this case, you are doing nested check. Like if you are having multiple conditions to be tested, then you'll have multiple checkpoints, which makes your thing much more compactful. You got the idea, right?
Yeah. In else part, can we pass the conditions in else also, apart from else?
And no, else part is always the end part. You cannot pass condition. If you have to pass multiple condition, you have to
Mhm.
use elif.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah, got it. And it can be any number of if blocks, right?
Yes, you can have multiple elif block.
Yeah.
Usually in programming language like C, C++, which I'm not sure whether you might have heard about the switch
Yeah.
statement. Switch statement is very similar to the one what we do, but in Python you don't have the concept of switch completely. This is how the switch statement will look like in a language like C and C++.
Mm-hmm.
But here in Python you don't have the concept of switch at all.
Okay.
That is the reason we are using multiple elif thing to make your switch statement almost available here in Python as well. Got it?
Yeah.
Clear? Any questions or doubts?
No, I'm good.
Okay, keep practicing it and ask more questions the
Mm.
way you did, so that
Mm.
that keeps me more motivated in explaining a lot of different things to you. That's a good
Yeah,
job
yeah,
actually
sure.
today. All right, perfect. Then catch
Okay
you out
then.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Bye. Good night.
Good night.